Oh, what is going on, you beautiful people of YouTube? I have not talked to you, I have not seen you in a very long time. So I am in 4th year of college. Things have been insane. I just have not bothered vlogging because I don't have the time to give enough effort into the editing or just the filming, and it just didn't seem right to do it half-heartedly. My exams in 2 weeks and then I am back full-time. Probably the biggest video I'm ever going to make will be the next video. Oh my god. So the next video that I'm currently making, it is massive. It is explaining what I'm going to do after college. It is my new venture. It is everything being tied into one. So that's coming very, very soon. But this video is from UL last week. I did a cooking demonstration for the UL Wellness Summit. So it's for students who are facing exams. So it was a fantastic event. Myself, Ryan O'Reilly and Colm Moore, or Coach Colm, the two boys spoke. I cooked. Everybody benefited. There was amazing prizes. So thank you to the organisers, to Alwyn and all the SU. I will just let this whole clip play. It's about half an hour long. You do not have to watch it, but there is some beneficial content in it. You may learn a new recipe, or you may learn why we should eat that. And if you are coming to exams, it may be helpful. It's a form of procrastination. So I will speak to you very, very soon. Thank you for your patience. Subscribe if you're new here, and as always, keep on cooking. Ciao, ciao.
So good evening everyone, good morning, afternoon-ish Boston. I don't need this, I can get everything on here. So I'll do like 5 minutes into who I am, why I'm here, and then we'll do a bit of quick cooking, and that's the kind of theme of the night. It's cheap, it's quick, it's varied, and it's emphasised for students in the next kind of coming weeks. Because when you face an exam, you face these stressful times, the food usually goes out the window. You're studying all day, you get home, you're tired, you pick up this brochure that came in your door. It's for pizza, it's for €4, why not? And often our health and fitness goes down during exams, so that's why I'm here tonight, to try and give you some options. So my name is Eoin Sheehan. I was a fat kid. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because I would have eaten that as well. But it's not that sad of a story, because I was always good at sports, so that was my outlet. You know, I was a big kid, but it didn't matter because he's good at rugby, or you know, he's strong. I always said to me, he's a fine, strong lad, which is a lie. But that was always my thing. I was good at sports, and kind of through rugby, I started doing more in the gym. So I kind of got more involved in that. And the more I got into that, the more I realised that I need to kind of figure out what I'm doing with my nutrition, because that is such a big part of it. So the more I kind of delved into that, the more I learned about nutrition, the more I started cooking, and then I kind of realised that I actually prefer this way more than anything else. So I started to focus on that a little bit more, and I suppose fast forward, and I own a meal prep service, which literally started from my own home kitchen. I post a lot. I used to, or I still do, but I started posting recipes online on social media, on Instagram and YouTube, just out of my home kitchen, picture of dinner. People responded to it, and they asked me would I cook for them, and I said absolutely not. I mean, that's ridiculous. And then more people said it, so I suppose, okay, look, we'll give it a go. So I arrived home to Mam, loads of boxes, loads of ingredients, started cooking, was kind of moseying around her. And that's kind of where I started, and that was kind of, I suppose, planted the seed. And then from there, met some great people who are in the room here tonight. And I suppose fast forward a few years, we're a meal prep service. We're based here in Ballysimon with a new kitchen opening in the next few weeks. And I suppose the aim has been the same since day one to right now. It's just to feed people good food, and in the most convenient way possible. I love to cook food, I love to feed other people. If you do that together, if you can do it every single day, it's a good day in my books. So that's kind of my aim, that's my plan, to just keep doing what I enjoy to do. So tonight I'm going to do 3 simple recipes. It should not take long. The whole idea is that they are cheap, they are quick, and they are varied. So you're going to see there's overnight oats we're going to do now. There's actually no cooking involved. All the ingredients are here, and it goes into your fridge overnight. That is simply it. Then we're going to do a quick fire chili con carne. Again, what I did, and I'll get that in a minute, but there's no actual rice. We're going to use spiced couscous. These packets are little, they are I think 79 cents. really good option. And then we'll finish with some granola bars. They're a great snack, so something I've seen you can bring into the library, full of healthy omega-3s as well, good for your brain, good for your eyesight, all that good stuff. So we'll just crack into it, there's no point in dilly-dallying. So, overnight oats. The reason I picked this is because, number one, there's no cooking involved, it's very, very simple. It is a good source of slow-release carbohydrates, so if you are studying, if you're getting up in the morning, you can make this the night before, put it into your school bag, go to the library, you have your breakfast there already made, and it's a slow-release carbohydrate, so it's going to keep you fuller for longer. So, let's say, example, if this in comparison to a bowl of Cocoa Pops, tastes great, no one, or everyone loves them, but half an hour later, you're going to get hungry, you're going to get these cravings, your sugar will spike, but then it will come down. So at that stage, you become lethargic and you want more sugar, so your body will feed off of that. Whereas this, your oats are carbohydrates. So they're going to digest much, much slower. You have some healthy fats as well, and when you combine carbs and fats, it slows down the digestion, so it's going to keep you fuller for longer as well. And again, a lot of healthy omega-3s. I think chia actually needs strength. So it's like strength seeds, they're good for everything. So all I have is 70 grams of oats. Now again, I don't stress too much on portions here tonight because it varies. If you're a female, you may only want 50. If you're a male, if you're 100 kilos, you may want 100 grams of oats. So it does vary, so it really depends on your diet, but 70 is usually a good number. So into this, we're going to do our chia seeds. So again, you can get these in pretty much all stores now. It used to be only health food stores, but pretty much anywhere you'll get these. Now, just a tablespoon. It's going to be very simple. I'm not going to bombard you with measurements. 1 tablespoon in, and the reason for these is that they act like sponges. So as soon as they get a liquid, they kind of burst, they expand, you get like a nice pudding. So it's really, really thick, and it's not like cold porridge. People always say that to me, they're afraid to make it because they don't like porridge, so they won't like cold porridge, but it's actually a very, very different texture. You just have to try to believe it. I have some yogurt here. This is just a fat-free Greek yogurt. Probably the best one to use because it is very, very thick and stodgy. It's not a runny yogurt. It kind of sticks to your spoon. So we're going to do a heaped tablespoon. So about 80 grams. That's going to go into our jar as well. And again, this is vanilla flavor, so it's going to add that vanilla kind of kick to it. You can use whatever yogurt you want. The yogurt you use will determine the flavor of your oats. So it's very, very simple. Kind of suit yourself in that respect. I have some honey or golden syrup, one or the other. Adds a sweetness without adding refined sugar. So yes, it is a sugar, but it's a natural source of it. If you don't want it that sweet, you don't have to add it because there'll often be a bit of sweetness in your yogurt. So you don't need a whole pile, which is good for us as well. So we're going to do, let's say, a half tablespoon, a teaspoon. In on top of that, we have some berries. So these are just frozen berries that are no longer frozen. So berries, we'll say. We're just going to put them in as well. You can use whatever you want, fresh or frozen, it does not matter. These are just so cheap as well. I love to use them. So again, all our ingredients here are so, like, you probably have them in your home cupboard anyway. So we're going to put the berries in as well. As like, please get them all in now. Nice one. Without the wrapping. And then there's only 2 ingredients left. We have some cinnamon. This is optional, not everyone's cup of tea, but it is nice with this kind of breakfast. Just a little dash of cinnamon, maybe probably half a teaspoon, and then just a filler of milk. That is all. This is just protein milk. It doesn't have to be this. If you're lactose, you could do a soy milk or you could do almond milk. Yeah, it completely depends on you. So all I did was literally just splash. I'm going to get it in, mix it around, and I'm going to judge it by the consistency. So it's still pretty dry. There's a lot of oats in there, so we'll add a little bit more. If you my look, it should be fine, but if it does cut out, we'll see what happens when that happens. But it should be fine, so just a disclaimer. But so what we're going to do is prep our veg first. Put these out of the way. All I have here is 1 red onion, half a bell pepper, this is a orange one, some mushrooms and some garlic. So just 4 or 5 ingredients. You can add whatever you want. The best thing with this is whatever's in your fridge can go into it. There is no restrictions, there is no rules for cooking. It is an art. Whatever you have, put it in, make it work. So it's going to chop them up very, very quickly. And just so no one loses fingers, I'll show you the correct way. So with an onion, first thing to do actually is your knife. So a good sharp knife. A sharp knife is actually very important A blunt knife is more dangerous because it won't actually cut in, it'll slide, it'll slip, and it'll catch you. So on your blade, with your pinky with these two fingers, you're going to pinch the blade, and your finger's going to wrap around the base of it. So when you're chopping, there should be no fingers underneath the blade. Your fingers are always perched up, and that is how you hold the knife. And your other hand holding the food will always be curved. So we're never going to have fingers under the knife, because that's how you lose them. So we're going to cut down halfway through the onion, just through the root. So we'll just use half. I'll top and tail it. Very, very simple. And then it doesn't really matter. There is a fine way to do it, but let's just nice and fine, nice and slow. There's no rush, there's no hurry. Let's keep all of our fingers, and let's do the same for the other one. Top it, tail it. Make sure it's always on its flat side, so we're always going to cut it facing down as opposed to on the round side, because it'll roll, it'll toss, and you could lose a finger. So again, we'll just fly through that very quickly. And I like a nice red onion, because the more colour you have in your dish, the better it looks, and we eat with our eyes as much as we do with our stomach, so having food that looks good always helps. With our bell pepper, it's already half diced, so we're just going to take off the exterior, leave the top bit, put it into the compost bin, and we're just going to dice it up again. All I'm going to do is the exact same, hold the blade, holding our fingers back, and just fly through it very, very quickly, or very slowly, depending on who your chopping skills are. So again, you can use a courgette, goes really, really well with these. I have some kidney beans I'm going to put in as well. So the prep time on these is absolutely minimal, and it's perfect for a college house, which I lived in Milford for years. And trust me, anything I cook here, you can cook in a college accommodation. So just with the mushrooms as well, we're just going to quarter them. Keep them nice and large because they add a bit of a bite to the dish. If you are a vegetarian, you can still use this dish, just use more kind of meat texture like vegetables. So mushrooms are a great source of that, or like aubergine or something like that is a great substitute for meat. So we probably have just 4 or 5 mushrooms chopped very, very simply. That is that. We'll put 1 bulb of garlic in, exact same as the onion. We're going to top it, we're going to tail it. The skin should just pop out. If it's not, just give it a little bit of a crush with your knife. The bulb should just pop out of the skin, and that's going to add a nice flavour, nice aromatic smell to this room as well. Let's just hope there's no fire alarms in here, that's all. So we're going to finely dice that again using your fingers, and you're ready to rock. So, that one. And we have some mince. So I went with a lean steak mince. Does not matter, it was I think $2.79 in Lidl. And the reason I went for it is because it is the leaner option. You can get the higher percentage fat mince. There's nothing wrong with it. Just if you're watching, I suppose, if you're health conscious, the leaner cuts are always that little bit better. So we'll spark up. Sorry. So we have our burner on. We have a little bit of oil. So it's just normal rapeseed oil or a olive oil, it will not matter. Whatever you want, just kind of adds a nice flavor to the dish. So the first thing we're going to go in with is our onion and our garlic. We're just going to brown them off very quickly. I don't really like to give time, just use your senses. As soon as you start to smell the garlic, smell the onion, then you know it's time to go into mince. So it's going to be our onion and garlic, our mince, we'll go into vegetables, and then we'll finish with the sauce. So it should be done in probably less than 5 minutes. It's a very, very quick dish. Everyone's watching the gas burner now, just in case it goes. So we have the onion in, we have the garlic, we have a good wooden spoon somewhere. We're going to stir this around. So again, the idea with this is, it is such a simple dish, but also it can be made in batches. So what I used to love to do always was, on a Sunday evening, do this in the house, but do it for, 4, 5, 6 portions. Put it in the fridge, and I have it all week. So you're not coming home from the library every evening, wrecked, tired, having to face this array of ingredients again. You can go home, that's it, it's in the fridge, it's ready to go every single morning. Likewise with the oats and the granola bars as well. It's very, very simple to do, and you can do it for a week, and it's good and healthy too. So it's going to toss these around, so people in the front row, you'll start to smell it soon enough. We're not looking to burn the garlic, because that can add a bit of a bitter taste. So it's going to just lightly brown until you can start to smell it, which I can. We're going to add in our beef. So probably 150 grams is absolutely loads, because usually when you're using bulk vegetables, that's going to add a lot of meat to the dish as well. So you don't need a whole pile of mince. Again, we're cutting down on cost, we're cutting down on, we're using more volume for our vegetables than we are with our meats themselves. So again, get that into the pan, stir it around, and again, this will brown in literally seconds. So all we're looking to do with this is just until that mince turns brown, turns with the onion and garlic, we go in with our onion and our mushrooms, or bell pepper and mushrooms. That'll just be it. And then the sauce will be a homemade sauce as well, using our tomatoes, our sriracha sauce, and then some simple chili, paprika, and oregano. So all your kind of cover essentials that you will have at home, or you should have, or you will get. So just on the seasonings, that's something that I get a lot of questions about. And it's the fact that kind of where should I get them, which one should I get? And it really depends on what you're cooking. So anyone who likes spicy food, who likes kind of Mexican dishes, who likes those kind of aromatic flavors, you know, you can't really go wrong with paprika or smoked paprika. These things, they can be extremely cheap if you get them in the right places. So Lidl and Aldi, you get these for like 39 cents. Granted, if you do go to like the bigger outlets, they can be a little bit dearer. Or you can go one step better and buy them in bulk. So I often buy 5 kilo bags of seasonings and I put them into these little small containers, and they do me for like 2 or 3 years. They don't go off once they're sealed, they last for ages, and they're extremely handy to have. So our mince is browned. I just trust me, I'm not going to show you, but as soon as that is, we're going to add in our vegetables. So mushrooms and our bell pepper. And drop. And again, just give this a stir on. So literally, as soon as we start to see the vegetables start to soften, we can start going in with our sauce, because there is really no more cooking to be done to this dish. The main consistent here is the mince that's already cooked, so we're literally halfway there already. So we go in with our tin tomatoes, 29 cents in Lidl, extremely cheap, just plain chopped tomatoes. Half a tin is usually perfect for one person. Give it a stir around. Drop that down a bit. Just give it a stir around, make sure it's all broken. They can be plump, that means they're full. So just crush them in the pan with the back of your spoon. Once that's in, we're going to go in with just a handful of kidney beans. 50 to 60 grams is loads. Good source of protein, good source of fibre, and again, it just adds more meatiness to the dish. So again, we're always kind of looking for low-calorie substitutes to bulk up a dish. And if you're vegetarian, they're a fantastic option. On top of that, we have sriracha sauce. So any kind of hot sauce will do the job. Sriracha is my favourite. Again, it's very cheap and it lasts long, because you know, if you're only adding a squirt per day, these things last for ages. So a decent dressing of sriracha, depending on how hot you like your dishes. If you don't like spice, you can leave it out. There's no problem at all. You can do ketchup, because that's adding a little bit of sugar. It's kind of taking away the bitterness of the chopped tomatoes, and what that sugar will kind of just balance it out a bit. We have a bit of lemon juice as well that will kind of balance the acidity, but it's a good option to have. A tablespoon of soy sauce, just for that kind of salty depth of flavour as well. And then we'll go with our seasoning. So we have a teaspoon of chili powder, depending how brave you are. A tablespoon of paprika, because that's the kind of main constituent that we want in this dish. And probably the same of oregano, because that gives it that nice kind of Italian vibe as well. So once that is all in, we are pretty much there. Now granted, if you do have time, I would recommend that you just leave it cook for longer, because like anything, the longer you let it cook, the more the flavors will develop. Now it is perfect to eat as it is, but even if you have some beef stock or chicken stock, add it in, whack down low heat, leave it sit for half an hour, 40 minutes, and the depth of flavour is just 10 times better. And likely still, leave it there till the next morning, it's even better again. But as it stands now, it's absolutely perfect. That is pretty much cooked. So we'll come to the carbs. So I often do it with rice. On our menu we have a chili con carne with rice, but it is slow cooked. So what I'm using tonight is just sun-dried and garlic couscous. So it's not a carb source that people are too familiar with, but it's one of the easiest to make. So I did it, just some of you may have seen me before I actually came on stage. I poured the contents into this pot, I added a little bit of boiling water from this teapot, just to barely cover the couscous. Cover it with a tea towel, and what you're left with is this formed couscous. So it is absolutely simple to make. You could make a massive batch of that, and the packet is 79 cents, so you really cannot go wrong with that. So I'm going to put it into my lunchbox. Here it is. I also have a bit of lemon juice. Sorry, just a bit of crack that as well. Put it through your hands, so any pips will fall into your hand and the juice falls through. That's all I need, just a little bit. Put these out. And that is the dish finished. So we're doing good on time, are we? Probably 10 minutes in. Gas cooker didn't die. It is for another day. I will fill that though, I promise you. This is the last time I'm going to cook with that liability. So we have our couscous into our lunchbox. Simple as that. One package does 2 portions. And we have our chili con carne. So again, if you're cooking this at home, taste it, see what it needs. It might need salt, it might need pepper, more paprika. You can always add more, you can't take it away. So be conservative with it. If you want it hotter, add more hot sauce, add more chili, and it is simple as that. So that is cooked. That's going to go into our lunchbox, and that can go into the fridge. Furthermore, you can take with you to the library or wherever you go. Again, plenty of fibre in the couscous, in the kidney beans, a lot of good source of protein from our mince, and a lot of micronutrients from our vegetables. So, done and dusted. Awesome. We are on the home stretch. Granola bars. So, again, I have prepped in time, so I don't have the oven with me. So I will do the ingredients, and I have some samples here for anyone who wants to come up again. You can taste. You can taste all the stuff actually. You'll be here to eat, even though you will get free dinner and all. I'm not cooking that. So what I have is just oats in this bowl, exact same as the overnight oats. 100 grams is what I have. I would do some melted butter. I would melt it in a pot, put it in. It would look fantastic. Some honey. So we're doing 60 grams of butter, 80 grams of honey. So it's not overly sweet, but there's that little bit of depth of flavour there as well. Honey will go in. A splash of vanilla extract. We have a handful of dried fruit and some nuts. So really this kind of depends on you. Could add chocolate chips, you could add whatever nuts you want. I went with walnuts and raisins in this batch that I prepared earlier. And that is literally essentially it. So what you're going to do is mix it all around, put it into your baking tray like this on some parchment paper, like so, on a low heat in the oven, so gas marked 4, 350 degree Fahrenheit, I believe. And for about 30-40 minutes, you'll get a nice golden brown color. Let them cool, and then you can crack into them. Really nice granola bars. These are absolutely fantastic snacks to bring around all day because, again, we have those slow-release carbohydrates in here. Yes, you have a little bit of sugar, but you have, in these, you have walnuts, a great source of omega-3s. So great for your brain, great for your eyesight, and they're great snacks to have on the go throughout the day. So I think that is pretty much me. If you have any questions at all, please, you can follow me on social media. You can come up to me now. If you want to taste them, please come up. But no fires, no disasters. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks a million, Eoin. We're going to take 2 questions now for 5 to 10 minutes. Here's the question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so one quick thing, during my time in college, like I used to try and eat as healthy as possible, but often you fall off the wagon,
Yes.
quite often, especially if you're going out, drinking, whatever. Is there any tips you have if you know you're going to be going out on a Wednesday night or Tuesday night? How would you kind of counteract that to eat healthy things?
It's a good example because last week was race day, I was out. So again, that's something that I struggled with in first year. It was this kind of, you go to the gym 7 days a week, you're training your diet's perfect, you'll go out. And as soon as you go, you kind of lose that momentum. You say, I'm out. Going to the top pizza, always good. You wake up next day and it's a disaster. So again, the biggest thing is planning ahead. I mean, for me, it wasn't about worrying, it was about realizing I'm going on Thursday, so be it. You have to live a life as well. So I suppose the best thing you can do is taper back your calories throughout the week, or just, you know, be conscious. If you're not counting calories, just be conscious. Maybe increase your activity Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Reduce your carbohydrates if you're going to be drinking a lot. But even on a day, like alcohol has calories. I hate to break the news to you, but vodka isn't calorie free. I don't know how many people have asked me this. And Naggin has, I think, like less than 400 calories. So it all does count, unfortunately. And as long as that, the drunker you get, the more you tend to drink. You don't realise this thing. So it's all well and good saying I'm going to go out and have 2 drinks, but when it's 12 o'clock at night time, you're 7 drinks deep. What do you do then? And the best thing to do is just, you know, be conscious of it, be aware of it, and then I suppose just hold some bit of responsibility for yourself. I mean, if it's your goals, whatever they may be, they must fit into your lifestyle as well. You know, if you are tending to kind of break out, then it means that you're probably too regimented, you're too strict, and something needs to kind of deviate a bit. The best thing to do is be conscious of it, allocate calories here and there, and approach it in kind of, I suppose, the healthiest way possible. Good question. No. Anyone asks a question gets $1 bar. It's an incentive.
Any more questions?
Can you tell us more about your business?
I can, of course, Colin. Great question. You can't eat granola bars though. Country Munch is a meal prep service. So what we do is food very similar to this. It is home cooked, wholesome, healthy meals. So the idea kind of started from home, and I suppose why it's called Country Munch is I'm from a small farm out in Kenry, and being, I suppose, in bodybuilding and all the kind of fitness industry, I went through every fad diet that there was. I did low carb, I did high carb, paleo, keto, everything. I did it all because I was told to by people on social media, whatnot. And it kind of took me until I realized that, you know, who was the healthiest person that I knew? It was my grandmother. She lived on the farm, never in her life knew what a fad diet was. If I asked her what was paleo, she would have slapped me. They never counted carbs, never did nothing. And that was the kind of realization, was like, this here is the healthiest woman that I know. Traveled to Australia when she was 80 years old, lived to be 94, and just ate good, honest, wholesome food from the farm, especially all the ingredients from the garden. We had our own beef, we had our own milk. So that was the kind of click for me that, like, look, I'm wasting my time here with this. I need to go back to the basics, and that's kind of a big thing for us in Country Munch. It's just going back to the basics, going back to what we did 80 years ago. There was none of this fad diet, keto stuff back then. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I think it's individualized. You know, what suits you will work best. But for me personally, I think that kind of wholesome, nutritious approach to food, a simplistic approach, is what works best. So that's why Country Munch was started, and we're based in Ballysimon, very close to UL. And the idea is just to give people that convenience, to have your meals prepped, cooked, delivered to your door, and I suppose to be as transparent as possible, so you know who cooked the food, why it's cooked, why he cooks, and you know that the food comes from a reliable source. So yeah, if anyone would like to know more about us, Country Munch on social media, or myself, Eoin Sheehan, and we will be releasing our new kitchen probably in the next 2 weeks. With a new premise as well, so it's very exciting times, and yeah, good question, Colin. Thank you very much.